Welcome back to our channel. This is Mom and Me Beauty. We post videos every Monday and Thursday. Monday is Mom and Me Day, and Thursday will be either Teen Take or Mom Moment. And I'm happy to say today is my very first Mom Moment video. I will be giving you my honest review of Makeup Revolution's Affirmation palette. Sorry about the reflection. It's really bright coming in here. We have a big picture window in our living room. Anyway, so I really am a very natural, neutral kind of girl. I love my neutral eyeshadows. Pink is my favorite color, and I can wear it at least a dozen different ways. Anyways, I really wanted to get a palette that offered me those pinks, the browns, the neutral colors that I love so much, but also a couple shadows to help me go outside my comfort zone and maybe expand my eyeshadow look from day to day. However, I did not have a whole lot of money to spend, so I was browsing in Ulta in the drugstore side of the store and came across Makeup Revolution's display unit, and I was just floored. I could not believe how affordable the line was and the variety of product that they offered. The eyeshadow palettes do come in these boxes, and on the back of the box you can see they offer you a sneak peek into the colors that are in the eyeshadow palette. The box itself is wrapped in cellophane, so it's really nice to have those sneak looks at the colors that are in the palette so you don't spend your money, bring it home, and find out it's not something that you want to use. So the sneak peek on the back really offered me what I think I was looking for. So I brought it home and ripped it open and started swatching it. The cellophane that covered the outside of the box did not allow me to swatch it in store, so that was one downside of it. Anyways, I brought it home, ripped it open, and swatched it, and I love this palette. I've been reaching for it every day, using it for all my eyeshadow looks. Now, you have to be careful because some of the shadows do kick up a little powder. You do have to be a little bit careful. It tends to be the darker ones, so I'll show you in a minute. The black that's in this palette does tend to kick up quite a bit of powder, so just make sure that you complete your eye look. If you're going to use the black, do that before you complete your face, like your foundation, your concealer, that sort of thing. There's 32 shadows in this palette. There's 12 matte shades and 20 with shimmer, and the shimmer varies from one color to another. The price was unbeatable. It was only $15 for the palette, and you can use your Ulta Beauty coupons on it, which makes it even more affordable. So when you open up the palette, you can see you get a really nice large mirror. It's very reflective, and I don't want to blind you guys. But then these are the colors that you get. And you can see there's several shades that look like they are the exact same thing, but those shades I tend to find are one's matte and the other's got the shimmer in it. So that if you are looking for a specific color and you need it in either matte or shimmer, it's available to you. So the palette doesn't come with names given for each single eyeshadow. I'll be swatching all these for you on my arm so that you can see what they look like. Now keep in mind, I have extremely fair skin. I am not porcelain by any stretch of the imagination, but I do live in Western New York and we don't see a whole lot of sun, so this girl is pale. I also use this palette to complete the eye look that I have on today. And I'll be showing you from this palette which colors I did use in my look today and where I use them on my eye. So the very first shade in the palette is a nice like creamy vanilla color. It's a matte shade. And the one next to it is like a beige color with a little bit of shimmer in. So there's the first one. That's the vanilla. And that's the shimmery color. Trying to get my camera to focus here and it won't quite do it for you. Anyways, so when you swatch these ones, they do tend to go on pretty sheer, but they do have buildability in them. You can really build up the color to get the intensity of the color that you want. The vanilla would work really well as an under the eyebrow highlight. And the tan color with the shimmer in it would look really nice, popped right on the lid. The next one, the third color, is a little bit deeper than the tan color with a shimmer in it. It too has some shimmer in it. And when you swatch this one, it appears as a rose gold on the skin. It is absolutely beautiful. I love rose gold. It is one of my favorite colors. I love me some rose gold, and I was very concerned when I first started using this palette that, you know, halfway through my day, the colors on my eyes from this palette would start bleeding together and you wouldn't really see anything at all if I even put any eyeshadow on to begin with. However, I did try a trick. I used my setting spray to help the eyeshadow affix to the eyelid and really intensify that color. So what I did was I used my eyeshadow brush and I picked up a little bit of product and then sprayed it with my finishing spray. And then I went and packed it in on the eyelid after I completed the crease color and the outer corner color. Really, guys, I need some coffee because apparently I cannot talk today. Anyways, I packed the color on my eyelid, then finished my makeup and spritzed my face again with the finishing spray. And I have intense color shimmer if I use a shimmer color on my eyelid, and it stays all day long and does not budge. Okay, so returning to the palette, we're going to go on to the next color. It is almost a peachy pink color, very, very pretty. It does have some intense shimmer in it, and I find this is one of my favorite colors to use. The next one is a matte shade, and it's pinky brown, very much a flesh color. Can you see that? It's a flesh color. I feel like I'm giving you guys the finger. This does work as a really good base for your eyeshadow. It kind of washes out the pigmentation, the natural pigmentation that you have in your eye, and it makes for a really great base for your rest of your eyeshadow look. The next color in this palette is a real nice nutmeg color. It reminds me of like nutmeg and the spice that you would put in your coffee or your latte for the fall. I did use this in my eyeshadow look today. I used it as the transition color in my crease. And I also used the color that I just swatched before this one also in my crease as a transition color. I kind of blended the two of them together. The next color after the nutmeg is a coppery orange color. It almost looks like a deeper rose gold color. This color I was finding to have a little bit of fallout. So if I decided to use this color in my eyeshadow look, I just make sure I did my eyeshadow look before I did the rest of my face. The next color is definitely a true copper shade. Definitely has orange, and it swatches so nicely. Not very sheer, a lot of pigmentation in this one, and not too much fallout. Okay, we're going on to the second row, which is we're working from the bottom up, the way you guys are looking at it. So we're working this way. Backwards, I'm so sorry. So the next one is a shimmery version of the very first color that I swatched for you. It's that creamy vanilla color, and this one tends to be sheer but has great buildability to it. The next color is a very light tan color, tons and tons of shimmer in it. It swatches beautifully. It has buildability to it, but I was finding that in my looks that I was doing with this color, I really didn't have to build too many layers. In fact, one layer would do, especially when I use my finishing spray technique that I was talking to you about. But if you do want to add a little bit more intensity to your look, you can always do like a second layer, apply it wet, or you could just put a second layer dry over your first layer on your eyelid. Okay, the next color in this line is a nice shimmery kind of spicy brown color. Not too dark, not like a chocolate brown color. It really does remind me of spice. It's not the same color as the nutmeg. This is a little bit deeper brown. Shimmer is great. It swatches very well. It doesn't have a ton of fallout, and you can use it in your crease. It doesn't have a ton of shimmer, so if you want to use it in your crease, it's not going to ruin your eye look. The next one is a nice chocolatey brown color. It really reminds me of like milk chocolate. It's a matte shade. It does not have any shimmer in it whatsoever. It works really, really well as an outer corner color. Say that 5 times fast. Outer corner color. Anyways, the one after that is the shimmery version of that milk chocolate. It does have a little bit of like a mahogany undertone to it. Also works really well in the crease or the outer corner. The next one I would say is like an Oreo brown, maybe a little bit lighter. It definitely has some shimmer to it. It would work really well in the outer corner as well. And next up we have a very coppery, shimmery color. Swatches really, really nicely. You only need 1 layer with this one. It would look beautiful for an autumn look if you wanted to use it in the crease. Blend it up into a transition color and into nothing. And you could even top it with that vanilla color. It does pair really, really well with your mauves, with your lighter pinks. Really, really beautiful. And you can go onto Pinterest and find looks that have like a coppery shade in. That's kind of popular during the autumn this year. The next color was one of the reasons that I bought this palette. It's an icy blue color, and normally you would not find that in autumn. It tends to have a lot of like silver, pewter gray undertones in it. It would work really well as a transition color. It doesn't have a ton of shimmer, and it would also work really well on your eyelid. I really wanted to be able to have a look even during the autumn that was outside of my comfort zone, so that pop of color. And I have brown eyes. I tend not to defer my eye makeup look beyond the pinks and the browns. So this blue really is going to be a challenge for me, and I can't wait to create an eyeshadow look with it. Okay, we're going on to the next row, ladies. So going upwards, we're going to be doing this row right here. Oops. Right there, and including this purple right here, which is in my corner right there. You can see, I think I've mentioned that already this video. The first color is a matte vanilla shade with a little bit of pink to it. It's not quite vanilla, it's not quite peach, it's like a pinky peach, but very light in tone. The next color is another tan color, not spice, I would say lighter than that, between a spice and a vanilla. Has a little bit of shimmer in it, not much there. Would look really, really well as a lid color. It actually reminds me of the color of cashmere. Cashmere can come in so many different colors, but for some reason, and when somebody says the word cashmere, this is the color that I think of. And the next color is a slightly darker form of the cashmere. Also has a ton of shimmer. Would look really well blended with a matte shade in the crease. Transitioned up into like a highlighter color. The next one actually goes back in tone. It's not darker than the one before it. It reminds me of the color, the brown color that autumn leaves sometimes turn. At least here in New York, we get all sorts of colors when autumn comes for the leaves. We get reds, we get oranges, we get yellows, but sometimes we even get like a light brown, almost like a burnt vanilla color. That's what I would describe this one as. The next color looks like a burnt vanilla. Little bit of shimmer, not too much. It would possibly look really good as a washout color on your eyes before you apply your eye makeup look. The next color going down the line after that is a matte form of what I consider to be nutmeg. It definitely has a little bit of beigey undertones to it, not quite brown, not quite beige, a mix between brown and beige. Matte color. It would work really well in the crease, blended upwards and feathered out into nothing with your highlighter color. The next one starts the purple ranges. So the next color is a matte purple, like a plummy purple color. Not quite as deep or rich in color as the other two purples, but definitely a good shade to use, especially in autumn. For the outer corner, you could even use it in the crease. The next color after that kind of brightens up the previous one. It's not quite the same shade, but it definitely is like a brighter version. It has a little bit of blue undertones in it, has a little bit of shimmer, not too over the top. And the shade after that, the shade that I keep telling you guys I've got in the corner of my eye, is a really nice deep, rich, royal purple. And it definitely has some shimmer in it. Nothing that's going to overwhelm your eye makeup look. And finally, we get to the last row. So for you guys, it's going to be this top one as you're looking at it. As you're looking at the palette, is actually going to be your bottom row. The first color in this row is a really nice matte creamy caramel color. Very good as a washout or a base color for your eyeshadow look. It also will look really, really nice as a transition color from a medium up into your highlight color below your brow bone. The color after that is also a matte shade. This actually is slightly lighter in color to the cashmere. At first when I swatched this color, I thought it was a matte shade, but it does have a little bit of shimmer in it. The next color after that is also a brown taupey color, but it has some gray undertones in it. This is definitely a matte shade, would work really well in your crease. The one after that has a little bit more gray in it, leaning towards like gunmetal gray, would work really well as a transition color or a crease color. Color after that is a true gunmetal gray. It swatches so smooth, so creamy. Really one layer will do you with this, and it also blends out nicely. The next color after that is a nice sparkly gunmetal gray. Now don't worry that it's got glitter in it and it's going to completely fall over your face. It actually has very small specks of the sparkle in it, but it definitely would work really, really well as a crease color. The next one after that is a Starlit Sky Black. Not quite pure black, but definitely not gunmetal gray either. So we're transitioning towards the black. This definitely has a lot more sparkle and glitter in it. And finally, we have the black. And look at that black. It is so pigmented, but definitely has some fallout in it. So you'll have to be very careful with this shade. Those are all the swatches from the Makeup Revolution Affirmation palette. I hope that you enjoyed those. And what I'm going to do is show you a picture of the eyeshadow palette and then talk to you about the different colors that I used for this eye makeup look today, and I'll use arrows in the picture so that you can see exactly which color I used. So for the very first shade that I used, my washout over my entire lid and brow bone area, I used that first vanilla shade there, the matte vanilla, and I just washed that all over the eyelid and again under the brow. The second color that I use is also in the top row. It's that nutmeg matte shade. I use that not exactly in my crease, just a bit above the crease area, and then as soon as I laid down a little bit of color, I then went in and took the like nude color, the very first pan on the bottom row, that matte nude shade, and I used a little bit of that and buffed that into the crease as well. Once I blended and buffed those together so it was a seamless union, I then went in and took in the second row the fifth shadow over, that nice chocolatey brown that's got a little bit of shimmer in, and I was very light-handed with this color. I put it in my crease and then I buffed that into the two transition shades that I used. I then went to the top row, the fourth color, that favorite color of mine, that pinky peach color. I took my eyeshadow brush and used the trick with the finishing spray and dabbed a bit of that over my lid. You can see it's very shimmery, very pigmented when you use that trick. I love this color. In the whole palette, it is my favorite color. Then for my under the eyebrow color, I used the second row, the very first pan there. That is the shimmery vanilla color. Nice highlight. I did have to build it a little bit. I had to put one layer on, buff that in with a transition, and then used a second layer just to top it off. And I buffed it a little bit. I didn't buff it that much. I feel like I'm seeing the word buff a lot this video. I did blend that in with the transition colors just so that it gave a nice seamless look. And finally, I used the nice plummy purple in the third row, the last pan in that row. It's a nice, beautiful autumn, deep, rich, royal purple color. And I put that on the outer third of the corner of my eye and blended it very lightly towards the center so that there's a nice transition between that nice pinky peach color and the purple. And to complete the look in the inner corner of my eye, I used the same color as I used for under the eyebrow, and I really packed it in there just to brighten up the inner corner of my eye. So that's it for this eyeshadow look and for this palette. I will tell you the pros, definitely. It's affordable, it's readily available at all Ultas. We have 3 Ultas in our city, so I actually took a visit to all 3 of them the last couple of days. They all have this palette available, and you can also get it online. I will leave the link for this palette in the description box below. And another pro for this palette was that many of the shades were very neutral. So if that's the kind of girl you are, like me, you love your neutrals, your pinks, your taupes, your cashmeres, your browns, this is going to be the palette for you. Overall, really great quality, and even though it's a palette of neutrals, it does lend itself to give you some different neutral looks so that you could go really sexy and sultry, or you could do very natural, pretty, romantic makeup. If you need a little bit of pop of color, this also would be a good palette for you with the purples and that ice blue color in it. If you want to create a unique look for maybe going out on the town or going out to the club, maybe date night with a husband or the boyfriend, the blues and the purples will definitely help you get outside your comfort zone, give you that pop of color, and really create some interest in your eye look. So overall, I think the colors are great for people who love their neutrals. If you are someone who wants all bright colors and some really bold looks in your eyes, this probably isn't the palette for you. They do have several other palettes available. One is, I believe it's called Unicorns Unite. That definitely has some bright shadows in it. Might be very appropriate for you. They also have a palette that's all matte shades with no shimmer, but like I said at the beginning of this video, I am a shimmer girl. I love my sparkle, I love my glitter, I love anything that sparkles. So this palette has 20 shimmer shades. The shimmer varies, like you saw with the swatches, anywhere between just a little bit of glitter and full on blue. The cons for this, I would say probably that the colors are not consistent. Some of them really are very sheer and need to be built up a little bit. Some of them have a little bit of powder that kicks up, namely that black again. But for the most part, they swatch very nicely. They're opaque and quite creamy, actually. You can intensify the color and the pigment of those colors that swatch sheer or go on your lids sheer. Just with some finishing spray, you can apply them wet. Again, it's very affordable. It was $15 for all 32 shadows. The pan size are slightly bigger than dime size, not quite nickel size, a little bit smaller than that, but 32 shadows will last you forever. So that's it for this video, my very first mom moment video. Tune in again on Monday for our next Mom and Me installment, and give me a thumbs up. Put any comments that you have in the description box below, along with suggestions for future videos that you would like to see. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, ladies!